a bit late here. I had a few things going on, but I am here anyway. So there's a lot of stuff going on, and I guess this kind of dovetails to what's kind of going on these days, but not quite. But I came across this interesting query expression or something. Someone said that basically someone who is into DDLG shouldn't be a masochist. And someone's saying, I'm not quite sure what to think about it because I'm into this dynamic, but I like all these other things, which includes being masochistic, humiliated, and all sorts of other stuff. And when they talked to someone about it, they said basically that this has got them thinking about it, and they're like, I don't know what to think because when I talk to people about it, they want me to be one thing but not another. They're not really looking for a D type at the moment, but when they were looking, it kind of played into a lot of what type of people they were meeting. Um, I guess the thing is that there's many different aspects of different people. So if they're into the ABDL or DDLG, that doesn't mean that they're not into other things. What that means, it does probably make it a bit more difficult for them to find someone that can match both or all of those sides, to have that particular kink and another kink, which might seem dichotomous on the outset, but might actually complement correctly or well with the right person or persons. So it got them thinking about the number of people that they meet that want them to be a particular thing, in a way that stereotypes happen. Stereotypes are an oversimplification, but the reason stereotypes are there is because it does actually happen, or that's kind of a common thing that does happen. Like, for me, a lot of Chinese people are depicted as wearing glasses. Um, when they draw caricatures and goes, "Oh, that's racist," I'm like, "No, that's stereotypical because of genetics. A lot of Asian eyes are of a different shape genetically. It's not something they can control, but it's a stereotype. Hence, they need glasses. A majority of them need glasses. So to draw an Asian with glasses is, to me, not racist or anything like that. It's just one of those things. It's a stereotype. The same as when you come into kinks and when you start talking about various things that you're into, um, the way you talk about it, who you talk to about it, how often you talk about it, will add labels into people's mind and say, okay, but you're not into this, but I'm into this, and they might think that may or may not be a match. And this person kept meeting people that, when they talked about the masochistic side, were so that they were looking for slaves, but they didn't have any interest in the DDLG um, aspect or dynamic. My suggestion was be maybe try and find someone who's into DDLG, and then have the masochistic side seen to, or talk to them about that. Putting one in front of the other. But the other thing is, it doesn't also stop them from having a DDLG dynamic and being able to play with other people for that other masochistic side. If the dom that they fit well with the DDLG doesn't sort of really want to do that or do it as much as that they want. All of this has to be negotiated. But with regards to DLG, if you're curious, it's Daddy Dom little girl, or DDLB little boy. It's a more pastoral caretaker kind of a role, but there are differences because there's also ABDL, DDLG, and there's a lot of other subgroups and all that, and they can be vastly different. But I'm just saying this in general terms to illustrate that there can be gentler sides with daddy doms, but daddy doms don't necessarily always have to be gentle and pastoral. They can be quite strict. Some of them can be sadistic. So that's where you come into labels and stereotypes, that just because someone identifies as one thing doesn't mean that they aren't also another. People are very complex. Having said that, a lot of people try to over identify with people, and they then start lumping them into you. So you're a this, so therefore all must be the same, you know. Um, I guess for that person, even though they're not looking at the moment, for Dom, it might be something that they think about what they want more um, in their dynamic. If they want to start off as a, daddy Dom kind of dynamic, um, and introduce the masochistic side, because with the daddy Dom sort of aspect of it, or um, the other other part of it is that there also is implementation of discipline, um, punishments, all that can go into play. So it was interesting to see that quite a few people like to separate the kinks and particularly box them together when it doesn't necessarily have to be the case. Otherwise, I think there would be no aftercare where they'd be cuddling, because that's also a part of it, I think. Anyway, I think that's it for me today. Just to say, well, that's an interesting way of people thinking, is that, just because you're into one thing means that you can't be into another. Not true. Your interests will evolve. Given this person was actually quite young, I think they were like 18, so just legal. They still have a long journey ahead of them. Many things that they can try. So just because they're into one at the moment doesn't mean they're not into something else. Either together, separately, later on, more, less. Yeah, it's just one of those things. Anyway, I better get going and keep on keeping on. Thank you so much. See you guys later.